Hey, Mega Maniacs, welcome back to Genesis Does, and on this special episode, we're looking at Mega Drive mini games, games that were exclusive to the Genesis mini version that came out in Japan where it was known as the Mega Drive. There are about 17 games that are on that version that are exclusive to that region or to the Asia region because there is a third variant of the Mini. So in either case, those games are not on the version we got in the United States. And this one is kind of interesting because it's actually a compilation of 12 mini games. So it's mini inside of a mini inside of a mini. What kind of Christopher Nolan Inception stuff is this? I'm going deeper, Leo. Well, unfortunately, I went too deep because this one doesn't seem to be compatible with my analog Mega SG. I sat here for a little bit waiting and thinking that maybe I had done something wrong, maybe I'd hit the wrong button, but I think it just might plain be incompatible. I'm not sure that this format of Sega Channel games that they compiled into one cartridge was meant to run outside of the region. Although it could just be that the settings are wrong in my analog Mega SG, but I decided not to dwell on it because I've got about 16 other games I can try. So let's play one of those instead. Let's start with Assault Suits Lanos, which is a really funky sounding title. I like that name. And I feel like it must be based on an anime. So let's see what I can find out about that. A video game developed by Messiah in 1990 for the Sega Mega Drive. Oh, it was released in America as Target Earth, so you can indeed play this in an American localized version. So if you have the Mega Drive Mini and you go into your settings and change it from Japanese to English, you will get Target Earth. You will get the localized version with the localized name. That works in most regions, but I believe Daniel Iverson, aka DJ Slope, said there's some kind of lock on the European version of the Mini that doesn't allow you to play the US ROMs. I don't know why, but that seems to be the case for him. Maybe some clever hacker will find a way to access it. Anyway, that's game over for me. I just wanted to give it a try. Let's try something else. Dyna Brothers 2. Now, this one is completely exclusive to Japan, never localized for any other territories. It plays like the first game in the series, according to Sega Retro, but I've never played the first game in the series, so I can't tell you that. Apparently, it also came out on the Sega Channel in an expanded version, and that was released on Virtual Console for the Wii in Japan, and they don't think there was ever a North American release version for Virtual Console here. If they don't think there was, there probably wasn't. So this has a tutorial mode, a story mode, an original mode, and a Takatsu mode, which is a two-player battle. So it seems to be some sort of real-time strategy game where you're controlling and raising and moving dinosaurs around. But for the life of me, I can't figure out anything in these menus, so I'm going to consider it time to move on and try something else. Let's go with Hybrid Front, which for some reason I put on here twice. And I'm not really sure why, but maybe I just wanted to play it twice as bad, who knows. So here we go with the Hybrid Front, which I'm guessing means if there's more than one version of it on here, that it was localized in different markets. I probably downloaded the Japanese version and then the North American version, so it appears one of them is not working too, so I guess it's a good thing I have both of them. Here we go. Hybrid Front, released for the Mega Drive in 1994. A re-release for the Virtual Console was done in 2007. The introduction begins with somebody logging into a computer. Then it shows a revolution that occurred in the 2080s, leading to a series of wars and conflicts until the 26th century. The depletion of fossil fuel resources have helped deepen the conflict on Earth. Everybody switched over to hydrogen fuel. The Earth was bombarded from orbit by massive weapons in the 24th century, so it's kind of a post-apocalyptic real turn strategy game. So I'm getting the idea here. I'm going to move on to another game. This one shouldn't require too much explanation. It's Puyo Puyo. And if you've played Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine, you already know Puyo Puyo because it's basically the same game, just with a different skin put on it for exploiting the popularity of Sonic the Hedgehog. But I'll give you some specific details about this version. It's the second installment, it's the sequel, it was made by Compile, and apparently, according to the ever-reliable Wikipedia, they put much more thought into this game after its predecessor was successful. And it became the most predominant game of the series, which makes it weird that they didn't release it for Genesis here. It did eventually get released on the Neo Geo Pocket Color, which kind of makes it an obscure entry in the series. Unlike its predecessor, this one has 3 modes: Single Puyo, Double Puyo, and Endless Puyo. Now, I don't by any means consider myself the best Puyo player of all time, although I do have quite a few versions of it, including Kirby's Avalanche, which was another reskin, and the one they released for Switch, which combined Puyo Puyo and Tetris. So it's fair to say I've at least played this game quite a bit, even though I don't think I'm that good at it, but apparently I'm better than the computer player I'm playing against, or their AI is set to a difficulty level that's way too low, because I am just stacking up combos and stomping my way through this computer opponent. I suspect any good player of Puyo Puyo would have easily stacked up a bunch of garbage blocks on top of me faster than I would have stacked them up on them, but I'm good enough to win this battle, so I consider that a success in testing another Mega Drive Mini exclusive game. So we'll move on and try another one here. How about Revenge of Shinobi? Whoa, what was with the garbage characters? Was that just because I loaded one game in the middle of another game? I'm going to assume that's why, but Revenge of Shinobi is also known as the Super Shinobi. It was the first Shinobi game developed specifically for the Genesis and Mega Drive. And it has a score by Yuzo Koshiro, which already makes it a classic. And it's been included in many different compilations over the years. The Sega Classics Arcade Collection for Sega CD, the Smash Pack for Dreamcast, the Wii Virtual Console, the PlayStation Network for PS3, Xbox Live Arcade for the 360, iOS and Android devices via Sega Forever. So, suffice it to say, Revenge of Shinobi, or Super Shinobi if you prefer, this is a classic, which makes the fact that they didn't include it on the North American Genesis Mini all the more puzzling. I mean, why would you, of all the games to make a region exclusive to Japan, why this one? It's kind of mind-boggling. I can understand making it exclusive if it's entirely in Japanese and American players who didn't know how to read Japanese wouldn't be able to understand it. You know, like a role-playing game that's heavy on text, that would be problematic. Or a turn-based strategy game where you need to be able to read the menus to choose where to move your army and which things you want them to do. I get that. But this is just an arcade-style, side-scrolling action game. There's no reason to not include this. I mean, none that I can think of, especially a franchise as well known as the Shinobi games that has an enduring legacy of popularity over the many years and many installments it has seen. I just don't get it. I'm sure some of my viewers, like Ivory Tower, aka Jesse, and Ryan Taylor are both scratching their heads too, like, why wouldn't you include a Shinobi game on a Genesis Mini? But what can you do? I don't understand, you don't understand, we don't understand. It is what it is. At least I've got a folder on my Analog Mega SG called Mega Drive for all these games that exist on the Japanese version but not mine, because I'm paying $80 plus import fees plus taxes to get another Mini when I've already got the North American version, and I can still play games like Snow Brothers this way, especially since in a majority of these cases, other than like the Japanese exclusive games, I actually have the cartridges for stuff like this. I have the Revenge of Shinobi on a cart. I think I have Snow Brothers. I'd have to check my list. But if you've never played Snow Brothers before, this is basically a Bubble Bobble style game. Except in this one, you have to cover your enemy in snow and then push them off the cliff. They don't just float up into the air when you attack them. You actually have to do something with them. And as you can see, I screwed up there. Instead of kicking the snowball, I tried to shove it, and then I got hit by the other little goblin type of thing, and it killed me. But there, I cleared all of the ones on this stage. So that is another successful Mega Drive mini test. So let's go to another game. Let's do Wrestle Ball. Namcot, which tells you it was made in Japan because they're Namco here, they're Namcot there. It's one of those regional variations, so to speak, even though it's Namco on that screen, so there's some good reason for it, some sort of pronunciation or regional variation in the way that the company is branded. Maybe it's just for software licensing. Anyway, that's enough of a test for here. I'm Mr. MegaManFan. We'll do some more Mega Drive mini games at a future date.